Georgia. What have I done? I've shared too much. I've said too much. There's no going back. Why am I talking like this? Hey guys, it's Nikki with This Robin's Nest, and in today's video, we're going to try something new, and that's a Q&A where you guys ask the questions, I give the answers, and you guys get to be nosy, and I hopefully don't say anything that I didn't want to. Let's try it out. Let's start with a really easy one. What state do you live in? I live in Washington State. It's called the Evergreen State because we have a lot of trees. It's very lush, it's very green, and part of the reason for that is because we also have a lot of rain, especially this year. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait for the sun to come out. It's bright today, but it's overcast and the rain's a-coming. We recently moved and I was asked if it was for job-related reasons, and it wasn't. Our house was just really, really tiny. It was time for us to have some more space. And in the process of looking for a home, we moved to another city because that's where the search took us. What was the transition like moving from a quaint neighborhood to a suburbia type neighborhood? Do we miss being around older homes? And that answer for me is so easy. Yes, I miss being in a quaint neighborhood with different styles of architecture and design and character, and I miss pretty much everything about it except for the size of our house. There's just, I love where we're at. It's a totally different lifestyle. We are in, with a new builder, and there's lots of different builders around us, and they do mix the builders and the styles of the homes really well where I'm at. And we're surrounded by trails and nature, and there's a herd of elk that come through here frequently. I have a view of the beautiful Mount Rainier from where I live, and I can walk nature trails to pick up my daughter from school. It's amazing. But when you live in an organized neighborhood of new homes and new constructions, you usually have an HOA. There's a lot of restrictions. And I miss the flexibility of being able to set myself apart from my neighbors in my home decor style and with landscaping. And when you have an HOA, we have to get the smallest things approved. My neighbor came over with paperwork, and we had to sign off on them getting a play set for their child because visually it would change what we saw at our neighbor's house outside in their own yard. And I just found that to be very jarring and so, intrusive. Obviously, we signed off for our neighbors to have a play structure for their child in their yard, but there are definitely differences. Now, it does help keep the integrity of the neighborhood to a certain standard. You don't have people using pillowcases as window coverings, and you're not allowed to store junk outside your house. And so it's this very clean, uniform look, but there's also not a lot of personality in the way that I was used to in my old home. So if I could have had a larger home in that neighborhood and been able to afford it in our price range, I would have opted to stay where we were locally and do that. But the circumstances did not allow, and I do love where we're at in a different kind of way. What was your decor style before you fell in love with farmhouse style? That's pretty simple. My style has always been very traditional. I would equate it with like Pottery Barn, but I've grown to love a more modern industrial farmhouse look, and that's changed over time. And so I'd say, yeah, it was definitely traditional, just traditional. How do you store all of your stationery? Well, you can see right behind me I have this hutch. It used to be in my daughter's nursery, but it's currently being used in the craft room that I'm in. And I have these gold wire baskets, which I found at Walmart. They were $1.98 a piece, and they came in silver, rose gold, but you could use any kind of basket storage. And I just line my note cards up in one, and my sticky notes, and my page flags, and my notepads, and miscellaneous items. That's how I store a lot of my stationery. Also, the cabinet behind me has drawers, and I just line things up in there as well. So pretty simple. I also have a dresser in my craft room where I keep my washi tape, my ribbons, miscellaneous items. So if you guys want a tour of the craft room, eventually that is something that I will probably do come the end of summer because it's not completed yet. Yeah, nothing is completed in this house yet. Are you planning on doing a spring home decor tour? And the answer to that is probably not. And I'll tell you guys why. I haven't been too inspired to decorate in the new house, and I think it's because when we moved in, it was literally right before the Christmas holiday, and I kind of came in and decorated for Christmas, and we hosted a bunch of people, and then the holiday was over and we took everything down, and I realized I never actually moved into my house, so to speak. So I really want to take the time to find the fundamental pieces that are going to fill my home, and I have not done that yet. Keep in mind, we went from 1,008 square feet and we are close to 3,000 square feet at this point. So it takes money and time to do those things, and I don't really decorate areas yet because I haven't set the foundation for those areas to be decorated, if that makes sense. So most likely I won't start doing home decor tours until the fall, because then I will have some regular spots that I will most likely decorate for every season. But right now, I'm just trying to focus on switching out light fixtures, buying furniture pieces, and things of that nature. Where do you store all of your seasonal decor that you're not currently using? I use a lot of storage containers to store seasonal decor, probably the same as all of you do. You get a big storage bucket, you throw everything in there, you slap a label on it, and you put it out in the garage. That's pretty much how it works in this house too. We would like to condense, aka my husband would like to condense the amount of seasonal decor that I have, and I'm probably going to start doing that this year and really try to hone in on the style that I like, the items that are really necessary, the areas that I plan on decorating, so I know the amount of decorations that I will probably need. What kind of camera am I filming on? I have a Canon EOS 70D, and it does run a bit more expensive, but I love everything about it. I think it's a great camera. The one drawback though is that it does have a heavy weight to it, so if you're trying to vlog and you are trying to hold up a camera that's quite heavy, it's very awkward. What is my favorite TV show? I don't watch a lot of television. When I do, it's usually on the Disney Channel. So I could tell you my favorite Disney show, which are really none of them, but the lesser of evils would probably be Good Luck Charlie. Yeah, that would be it. I don't watch a whole lot of TV. Like, I don't follow any shows on a weekly basis on the networks. That's how I feel like I sound old when I say networks, on the networks, like my grandma and grandpa. But there are some shows that I enjoy, or like I'll DVR to watch later when Bella Rose is asleep, if I ever get around to it. And those are like Fixer Upper, Home and Garden Television, some Food Network channels, DIY, some Guilty Bravo shows. I do record. I would say this is probably the show that I watch the most recorded besides Fixer Upper would be The Real Housewives of Orange County and The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. All the other ones I haven't been into, no interest. But those two shows hold my interest for whatever reason. And my husband's always like, how do you watch that? Literally all they do is fight. I know. I don't know what it is, but I enjoy watching them. And then I also like Dancing with the Stars. I guess that would be a network show. In the past, I've liked The Closer, which was on TNT. It was kind of like a crime drama. And my husband watches a lot of Modern Family, so much of it that I just kind of can't watch it anymore. And then, so that's all I can really think of. I could tell you some of my favorite movies, though, really easily. One would be Memoirs of a Geisha. Love that movie if you guys have never seen that. The Help, The Notebook, so, like, typical, I know, but it's good. I'm a sucker for Something's Gotta Give. If it's on, I'll watch it. There's a movie with Meryl Streep in it. What is it? Oh, It's Complicated. I don't know why I like that movie, but I really like it. I watch it over and over again. Sometimes I think it's the decor in the movie that I like more than the movie itself. Like her house, which I'm pretty sure is in California. I'm not sure, but I really like it. The bakery that she owns in the movie, I really love the aesthetics of the bakery. Her daughter and future son-in-law's house in the movie, I really like the decorating. So sometimes I like movies just based on that. The movie The Butler, I really, really liked. I like movies that are also based on history and telling a story in time that are close to actual events. I like those kind of movies. So I would say my top 5 are Memoirs of a Geisha, The Help, The Butler, It's Complicated. Oh, and Rocky 5. I love Rocky 5. I know that's a pretty random assortment. Those are my favorite movies. Boring. I'm so boring. I know. What does my husband do for a living? He is a police officer, has been for, I want to say about 15 years now, and went to school for law enforcement. He's a criminal justice major. Probably the biggest question that I got, and the one that was asked the most, is have you always been a stay-at-home mom? Kind of what have you done previously for a career, or where have you worked? And if you were to go back to work, what would you do, or what would you be interested in? So the answer is I have not always been a stay-at-home mom. I started working at quite a young age. I was 15 and a half when I got my first job as a result of putting a hole in my dad's truck by backing into a parked vehicle. And he gave me the option of reporting it to insurance or working to earn the money to fix the vehicle, and I decided to go to work. So I got a job at a local grocery store, pushing and collecting carts and bagging groceries, and I missed many of football games, but it taught me a lot of responsibility. And from there, I also started working in retail. I went and worked for the Gap the remainder of the time that I was in high school, selling clothing and learning how to fold with a folding board and, working the registers and all that fun stuff. And when I graduated from high school, I went to junior college where I got involved in student government and entered into a paid position as Vice President of Government Concerns of the Associated Student Body. When I moved on from junior college, I went to university where I worked in the cafeteria making wraps. And when I graduated with my bachelor's degree in business administration, I moved on to working retail management. And actually I was recruited right out of college by Bath and Body Works. So I worked there for a number of years as part of the management team, and on and off when I left there seasonally for many years after that, even within the past, I say the last 5 years, I finally stopped working there first. So I worked for that company for quite a long time. Eventually I tired of retail hours and the schedule, and I decided to leave Bath and Body Works, and I wanted something that was more Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So I went to work for the Muscular Dystrophy Association as an events planner and fundraiser. I worked for the Muscular Dystrophy Association for a couple of years before Jeff and I started talking about starting a family and deciding that we would start that process. So I left that job. We started looking into adoption agencies, private adoption, and really focusing our efforts and my efforts there. Eventually we decided to become licensed foster parents through the state of Washington, and that took about a year. We had to go through training, have background checks done, multiple interviews, home studies. It was very invasive and it was a very long process. Family members had to fill out backgrounds, and we're talking mounds of paperwork. We went through a lot of training, 8 weeks of training, CPR training, a number of different things before we became licensed. During this time, a position became open to the public, and myself, my father, a number of other community members applied, and I was appointed to serve as an elected official, which was a paid position. And I served for a few years, and then during that time as well, I was a member of a number of different community groups. I served as an advisory board member for the Salvation Army, and I also became a para-educator in the school district. So I would help grades kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. I could serve as an office manager because I had a business degree, and I floated in and out of those positions at the same time that I was serving as an elected official, as well as being a foster parent and caring for approximately, I think we cared for 7 infants in this time frame. So a lot of different things happened within those few years, and 2 of which were paid. Obviously, you're not paid to be a foster parent. They supply money to you to care for the child, which quite to be frank, is not enough if you're caring for the child properly, in my opinion. I know we paid a lot of money out of pocket to care for all the children that came in and out of our home. That could be a whole nother video. Let me know if you guys want me to do a video on being a foster parent, kind of what that process was like for us. So those are pretty much in a nutshell the major jobs that I've held, and right now I'm not working, I'm staying at home. I did have the opportunity and was approached to consider running for Senate when I finished the position that I was in, or a House position, but ultimately I decided it wasn't the direction that I wanted to head in. So, you ladies, you can close a $5 million deficit without raising taxes and without laying off employees, and also know how to shop like a boss, do your makeup, and like girly things. It's possible. You can do it. So am I considering going back to work now? And if so, what would I do? Right now, I don't really have any immediate plans to run out and do anything. I like what's happening. I enjoy being home for my daughter when she comes home from school. I enjoy taking her to school and spending that time with her in the morning. Just knowing I'm there for her if she gets sick, or, and I know not everybody has that luxury, and to be honest, we could at times use a second income, but to me it's really important, especially in her elementary years, to be home for her. Considering part-time work, there's not really anything that's like, yeah, I just want to run out there and do it. If I had to and wanted to re-enter the workforce, I would probably goal myself towards becoming a prosecuting attorney. That is something that would really pique my interest and keep me motivated. So, okay. That felt like it got a little heavy. I don't know. So when I came off of the whole politics ride, I really needed to decompress, and I started to watch YouTube, which I don't know how I didn't know about YouTube, but I'd never come across it before. And just like searching the internet, I don't even remember, I came across it and was like, this is interesting. And I noticed a channel, Miss Stone Home. I'll link her channel down below. It's one of the first ones I started watching. She did a lot of thrift hauls, and I love to thrift, and so I really enjoyed watching them, and I thought that looks really fun to do. So I started doing it, and it was really fun. So I started my channel, and it just has really been fun for me ever since. Another question that I got is, what goals do you have for your channel? Well, I haven't really set any goals, and that's something that I want to do this year. Now that you guys have been with me for a while, I think I owe you that. And now that time is starting to allow me to focus a little bit more on that. How old are you? How old are you? I'm just kidding. I don't mind talking about my age. I'm 35 plus 5 and 4 months. There you go. There you have it. 40. I'm 40. I don't like saying the word, but I'm 40. How did I get to be 40? I have no idea how it happened. I mean, the only thing that reminds me on a daily basis is these wrinkles all over my forehead, these creases, these changes that are happening. But it's all good. I'm adjusting. I have a hard time getting the word 40 to come out of my mouth. I don't know. 39 was like, cool. 40, I'm just like, oh, you were like the old cousin at a family gathering that, like, when I was little, I was like, you're old. I don't know. I don't feel old. Am I old? I don't care. It's what it is. I'm 40. Or 35 plus 5. Just sounds better rolling off the tongue, don't you think? I don't know. And can I just tell you, 40 sucked this year, okay? It really did. Like, I didn't have a big party. I didn't do anything for my birthday this year. It wasn't my husband's fault. It's just the way it worked out. My husband transferred to police departments, and they have what's called FTO, so field training operations, and you're on it for so many weeks. When you transfer to a department, you're learning how to do things in the new department. And literally, bless their hearts, the department scheduled them during like every major life event that we had during that time. So my birthday party, my husband's birthday party, and our wedding anniversary. So it pretty much sucked really bad. We had a party planned for the two of us because my husband's birthday we're a month apart. So we were going to have a joint 40th with all of our friends. We put a deposit down, but he was scheduled during the party, and I wasn't going to have it without him. So we canceled it, lost our deposit, and I never ended up getting a birthday party. So thanks a lot, police department. And then they scheduled him during his surprise party that I had planned for him with his family, but luckily that all worked out. Their wedding anniversary came around, they scheduled him during that too. So I'm just not very happy about that. But what are you gonna do? I don't know. How old was Bella Rose when you adopted her? Well, we got Bella Rose when she was 2 days old. I remember I was serving government and I was at a conference and they called me and said, we have this little girl and she needs a home and would you be willing to take her? And of course my answer was an astounding yes, I'm ready, but I'm like 6-hour drive away from being home. Can she come in the morning? And they said, oh, we can't do that. We need to place her today. There was nothing I could do, so we didn't get the placement. And at the end of the day, I received a call from the social worker and they said we were unable to place her. Can you take her first thing in the morning? And of course, the answer was yes. I came home and she came at 9 in the morning at 2 days old to our home, and we adopted her when she was 18 months old. So it was a long wait and a long time to have a child that you consider your own be with your family, not knowing if they're going to be able to be with you. We also got to adopt her on National Adoption Day, so it was pretty special. Are we still considering adoption? Yes, we are still considering adoption. However, we have come to the decision that we are not going to go through the foster care process again, mostly because of time constraints. It took literally over 3 years for the child that we have now, and being 35 plus 5, I don't have all the time in the world, and we could potentially be 44ish or 35 plus 9 when and if it could come to fruition. And also the foster care system just really had a lot of flaws, in my opinion, and I don't know that we'd want to go through that entire process again. It was pretty hard on us at times and disappointing. So I'm also surprised that they don't allow someone who's been licensed to renew easier. You have to go through the entire process all over again, so it would take essentially up to a year for us to get another license, and we would have to put our family through all of the interviews, backgrounds, and all that stuff. So it was a lot, and I don't think we're ready to do that again. Now, private adoption we might pursue, but we've also had that end disastrously. So I don't know. We're up in the air. It's still heavy on our hearts, and we would like to have another baby through adoption, but I'm not sure how or if or when we are going to pursue it. What hobbies do you have? Well, you guys are pretty familiar with my hobbies: shopping, thrifting, decorating. So those are the things that I like to do that are fun for me. I also enjoy walking. I love to walk. I love to go on long walks. I don't know, is that a hobby? I just really enjoy getting outside and walking. Something creepy that I like to do, I don't know, is it creepy? Tell me. Is I like to go on walks at night because people have lights on in their house. This sounds way creepy. I probably shouldn't be saying this out loud. But I like to be able to see how they decorate, and a lot of times they have lights on, and when you just walk by a house real quick, you can like see in their living room and get ideas, inspiration, or like, I like how this house decorates, because normally during the day you can't really see into people's houses. So that all just sounded so totally wrong, but it is what it is. I enjoy exercising. What I don't enjoy is cardio. Cardio is not my jam. It's not my thing. I'm not your girl. I will never enjoy running. I don't care. You can send me 10,000 books about how to enjoy running, and like you could tell me the greatest tips and tricks. It's not happening. I'm not a runner. No. Do you collect aprons? I love aprons. I think they're really super cute. And I wouldn't say I collect them. I have maybe 7 or 8. I think they're adorable. When I find one that I really like, I definitely pick it up, but it's not something that I like I seek like the cutest apron everywhere I go. Like I seek milk glass, I seek jade dinnerware, but I do enjoy aprons. I would love to own some vintage aprons. I never really find any. And Sur La Table always has the cutest aprons, I think. Anthropologie has some pretty good ones too. So I've also found some on Layla Grace. I love that website. I know I'm totally getting off subject. Have you guys ever checked out LaylaGrace.com? I've never actually bought anything from them, but I drool with like a Christmas wish list every year on that website, but I don't know anybody who would like go buy me anything on it. So I'm like, I just look at it. Favorite piece of furniture that I've thrifted would be Ethan Allen's side tables that I got for my daughter in her bedroom. One I found, because Ethan Allen, if you're not familiar, it's a very expensive furniture company. One I found at a yard sale, and I was like, oh, I've got to get this, matches her antique painted bed that I have. And then years later, I found at a Goodwill the matching piece, which was like crazy insane meant to be. And so those are my favorite pieces because I have matching end tables for my daughter's bed set from Ethan Allen that I found both thrifted separately, which is like crazy. I don't know, that never happens. Okay, final question. You guys are probably like, thank the Lord. What is something we didn't know about you? Something that you don't know about me. Got it. Something that you don't know about me that I shared on Instagram recently. So if you're not following me on Instagram, you don't know it. And if you didn't read my Instagram post and you do follow me, you still don't know it. Is that I, since high school, well, pretty much since college, stopped washing my face. I started using Bare Minerals makeup, which is like natural mineral foundation. And I noticed when I didn't wash my face, I didn't break out and like the stars aligned and everything just seemed to be right. So I pretty much didn't wash my face for the better of 15 to 20 years. I know, saying it out loud, it kind of grosses me out too, but it worked. I don't know what to tell you. It worked. Every time I would start washing my face, I even remember my friends being like, you gotta wash your face. You have to exfoliate. It's probably why I have a lot of wrinkles. It's because I didn't exfoliate and do any of that washing motion. But they're like, you have to wash your face. That's so gross. And every time I would try a face wash, it would break me out. My skin would go crazy. I'd have dry patches. It'd be really dry. I'd, get acne. And then they'd say, oh, just stick with it. You keep with it and it'll clear it out. It's just getting rid of all the impurities and eventually your skin will even out. It'll be fine. And so I would do it longer and my skin would be terrible. And then I would stop washing my face and everything would get better. So I stopped washing my face altogether. And literally, so you're going, what did you do in the morning? Mascara? I take a Q-tip, I put a little soap and water on it. Just run it under my eye, put my makeup on, all over for the day. Pretty gross and disgusting. I don't care. It worked. My skin was nicer than it is when I washed my face. Started washing my face probably about 2 months ago. Again, started breaking out everywhere along my chin line, along my cheeks right here. Started getting really dry patches on my forehead, inner corners of my nose. I don't know. Everybody keeps telling me I need to wash my face. I went out and got a little fancy smancy doodad. What are those? Mia's, or I don't know what they're called. Clarisonics, and started washing my face. Went to Nordstrom, got a good face wash. I'm watching the biggest bee fly around my window. Luckily it's on the other side. And I did the little exfoliating motions with beads in it and all that kind of stuff. Breaking out, dryness, breaking out. So I think I'm going back to not washing my face because it just seems to do a lot better when I don't wash it. That's something you probably didn't know about me. Probably something you didn't want to know about me, but now you do. I can't take it back. It's out there. I put it out there in the universe. I don't wash my face. I'm a dirty girl. I don't know what to tell you. Atlanta, Georgia. What have I done? I've shared too much. I've said too much. There's no going back. Why am I talking like this? If you liked it, please subscribe. If you didn't like it, please still subscribe and just tell me you never ever want me to do one again. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Oh, strapless bras. Oh, gosh. Video. Questions, I give the answers. Here we go. Why do I always do that? Here we go. Here we go. Like you can make an entire video just going, here we go. I'm sorry.